Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning, and today we've got a combination that one of you guys wanted to see us try, and it's a combo that I definitely want to see what it can do as well, because it should be a pretty impressive performer. We know these are some good patterning shells, and we've seen a couple really good results with this choke so far, so putting the two of them together I think should give us a pretty nasty looking pattern. But as for those shells we've got today, I brought out some of the Winchester Longbeard XR loads. These ones are the 12 gauge, 3-inch, 1 3/4 ounce payload of 6s, moving about 1200 feet per second. And like I just mentioned, we know what these shells are capable of. They've given us I don't know how many fantastic looking patterns, so we know there's some good performers, but how good of a pattern can they actually give us through today's choke combination? But as for that setup today, I brought out the Mossberg 835 Ulti-Mag. This one has a 28-inch barrel on it, and for the choke we've got a Primos Jellyhead Maximum. It's a 690 constriction, and this choke in this 835 has given us a couple very nice looking results so far in our testing, but we have not run any Longbeard shells through it yet, so we'll see what it does. I expect it to be a pretty good combination, or at least I hope it is, because we've been on a little bit of a run of some duds here recently when it comes to shells we've tested through the 835, but I suspect this combination will give us a nice pattern. But as for today's test, everything is set up the same as usual. The turkey paper's at 40 yards, and we've got the chronograph so we can get our velocity from the shells. So let's get you guys a view of that target and see how good of a pattern we can get from the Longbeard 6s through that Jellyhead 690. Alright, so that shell gave us 1307 through the chrono. The boss claim is only 1200, and we typically see between 1200 and 1230 out of those shells. So I don't know how much I believe that number necessarily, but I guess it's possible. If it is truly 1300 feet per second on that shell, then it was getting up and moving on out for a Longbeard 6. So I guess take that 1300 reading with a grain of salt, because who knows, it could have been an error, although I don't know that it was. But what kind of a pattern did that combo give us down at 40? Let's go check it out and see. Alright, so now we're down here at our 40-yard paper, and I gotta say, a little bit on the interesting side here as far as our results go. Now, do we have a dead turkey first off? Yes, we do. There are a number of them right down through the spine, and obviously, you would have had a ton of pellets right through the body there, so yeah, you would have absolutely gotten that bird if that was your particular shot. Now, looking at the pattern overall here, it is nowhere near as tight as what we typically have seen out of these Longbeards most of the time. We know these 6s can definitely give us a very nasty looking pattern, but they are 6s, and that Jellyhead is a 690, which is pretty middle of the road as far as constriction goes when it comes to an 835, but we also know that these do prefer chokes that are a little bit on the tighter side sometimes, so maybe it's just not quite enough constriction for what these really are going to like. Either way, that's still absolutely a 40-yard capable turkey pattern, but I expected it to be a little bit tighter with a little bit hotter of a core area. Now, since we were a touch left and a touch low, I will go ahead and pop up a 10-inch circle equivalent right through the core area of our pattern there, so you guys can see what it actually looks like, because it is a more than good enough 40-yard turkey pattern, even if it is a little more on the broad side. And for some people, that's the exact kind of pattern they're looking for. They like a nice hot pattern with a lot of pellets through there, but they don't want it so screaming tight that it doesn't give them a little bit of leeway to work with, and that would be a decent pattern for that kind of a person. So throughout the middle core area of our pattern, it is a pretty even spread of them. Outside of that, we do pick up a few voids. There's one kind of over here in the center of your screen just off the left edge of that turkey paper, and maybe a couple more down here a little bit lower, and around the very edges we definitely see a few flyers and a couple little strings and stuff, which is not too unusual at all for what these Longbeard 6s give us. That has been the normal here, but I did expect to see a little bit tighter of a pattern. I think with that Jellyhead 690 and it being a 690 constriction, if we run the Longbeard 5s or even the 4s through it, I think that might be a little bit better than what the 6s can give us. Again, this isn't bad, but with the constriction, I'm betting that the 5s are probably going to be pretty nasty through it. So I definitely want to try the 5s and the 4s and see what happens. But as for the 6s, definitely a little bit more of a broad pattern. So some people are going to like it, others are going to want it a little bit tighter than that. And for a Longbeard shell, I would say this is a little bit more towards the disappointing side. Either way, if you had that combination with some long Longbeard 6s, you would still be just fine out to 40 yards. And you could push that to 45 and still be okay as well. And it's going to give you a little bit more leeway in at those closer ranges. So definitely not a terrible result overall today, even if it's not quite exactly what I expected to see. I would still hunt with that combo if that's what I had, but I think for a Longbeard shell, we can get a little bit better through that Jellyhead 690 as well. And here's the wad from that shell. Very typical Winchester Longbeard type of stuff here. Now, the brand new Longbeard XR shells seem to be kind of switching to this more yellow color wad instead of the kind of gray or silver color we're used to. I don't really think that makes any massive difference. These look the same, they feel the same, so I don't necessarily believe it's any massive difference other than just maybe the supplier that they're getting the plastic from to mold these in or something like that. I don't know. Either way, nothing stuck down in there, no major damage. Looks very much normal for a Longbeard wad, so nothing out of the ordinary to see here. Alright y'all, well, what did you think about that pattern right there? It's definitely not terrible overall. That's more than capable of getting a turkey at 40 yards with it any day of the week. So I wouldn't be scared to hunt with that combo if it's what I had. But on the flip side of that, we know what the Longbeards are capable of, and we have absolutely seen way tighter and way hotter patterns out of these 6s before. So I don't know, maybe that Jellyhead 690 just isn't quite enough constriction in that overboard 835 for a lead 6 to really get nice and tight down here at 40. So maybe we try the Longbeard 5s or 4s through it, because I think those might be a little bit better suited to what the combination actually is. But still, if you wanted to run Longbeard 6s through that combo, you absolutely have a 40-yard capable turkey pattern, and it would give you a little more wiggle room in at closer ranges too, with it being a little bit more of a broad pattern. I was a little surprised. I expected the pattern to be a little bit hotter than what it was, but that's why you test a bunch of different combos, because sometimes you're surprised by what things do. But I guess leave all your thoughts down in the comments. Is that about what you expected to see? Were you a little surprised one way or the other? Have you tested any of the Longbeard 6s through one of those Jellyhead 690 chokes? And if so, what kind of results have you seen from it? Would you hunt with that pattern? Or is it just a little bit on the broad side for you still? Or is that the perfect hunting pattern for you with that kind of a spread? And what other shell or choke combos do you want to see with either of those Longbeard 6s or that Jellyhead choke in that 835? Let me know all that down below. But with that being said, I've got some more testing to get done for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All that information will be in the description if you're interested in it, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.